This question is merge nodes in between zero. So given the linked list, so you are trying to calculate the sum between zero. Like that's the idea. So this is the first the first linked list you want to calculate, and in between this is 3, this is 1. So you add up together, you get 4. And this is another 1. This is 4, 5, 2, and then which is going to be plus together, and then you end up 11. And then later on you have one node point at the other one, and this node represent 4, this node represent 11, and that's it. So the idea is traversing the node until I mean, definitely you want to start from here, you start from here, but this node is already 0, which you don't need to calculate the sum, right? So you're moving your pointer by 1 right here to starting with the value 3, which is non-zero, and then you traverse until the node equal to 0. Okay, so initially you were here, and then now you are here, but let's think about you have 2 pointers. So this is the pointer you currently traverse, this is the pointer that you initially started. Okay, so before we start in the next iteration, we're going to add up since we're traversing from here to here, right? So we can add up the sum, right? And then we set this value from 3 to 4. Okay, and then once we are trying to reset the next, so this is next, right? Once we are trying to set a next, we're going to point the next to here. So how do we do this? This is the current pointer node. I said this one dot next to this pointer dot next, right? And then again, think about the block. So this will be the block for this linked list. This will be the block for this linked list, and then you'll know that you always exclude the first one. You always exclude the first one because this is not going to impact the result, right? So you will always shift right by 1. So let's start it. I'm going to say head equal to head.next, and you are shifting your pointer right by 1. And if the current head is actually equal to null, then it doesn't matter if return head or return null. It should be the same. And then now we are at a current location right here. We're going to calculate the sum right here, right? And then we also want to make sure our pointer node that will start from the head and traverse until all the way. So node.val traverse until all the way. That does not equal, yeah, traverse the linked list when the node.val does not equal to 0. So you will stop at this position. So before you traverse, you want to just add. So sum.plus equal to node.val, and then node equal to node.next. Alright, in this, so far so good, right? So we have like head over here, and then we have node over here. We calculate the sum between. Okay, so now what we need to do is we want to reset the value for the head. Okay, so head.val is equal to sum, and then this position is still head, right? So I'm going to say head.next will be equal to the next traversal. That will be the same pattern. It's still in between 0, and then I'm going to just call this recursively. Okay, and you're going to notice the first one is always skip the first one, right? And then you are starting from the head, because this is how you point at the next, right? So you will point at here, since even though this current node.val is equal to 0, right? The moment you do it recursively, you run this. You say head equal to head.next. Alright, you're starting from here. So this becomes your second. So you're starting from here. This is the initial, and then when you do the recursive code, this will be another one, right? and then but again you are trying to exclude this one, right? So let me do this. So at the end you will do like this, and then like this later on, and then your current head, this is your head will actually point at this one. The reason why is you always skip the 0, and then you're trying to return where? You definitely want to return the head, right? This is because you want to start from 4, right? Not recursively. If you do recursively, then we can talk about this later on. But alright, anyway, so for time and space, definitely the space is going to be constant. You not allocate any additional, space. Like you add out every single node. You add out every single sound of the node, and then reassign whatever the node you currently, using, and then point at the next one with the sound of the, the sub linked list, and then you traverse, which is all of them for the time, constant for the space. Alright, this is the solution. Alright, see you later. Bye.